Hello, welcome to class. My name is Ellen McKay, and today we are going to be doing a little mix of a few different types of movements. We're going to add a little flow with some longer holds, longer, deeper stretches. So I've got my blocks, bolster, and some blankets here. If you don't have these kind of props, that's okay. Just grab some blankets and maybe a couple towels or pillows. Just something to give you some extra support when we move into those longer holds. You can start seated like me, or you can lay down either on a mat or bed, whatever you prefer. I'll always give options. So get nice and comfy wherever you are. We'll start with a little centering. Hands can rest wherever they're comfortable. If you like that kind of feedback and that connection it gives you with bringing your hands to your body, you can bring your hands to the center of your chest, to your belly, to your legs. Just kind of helps remind us to stay present. Eyes can close if you choose. And we'll begin with our breath. Gentle breath in and out. If you'd like to add more to your breath, we'll start that diaphragmatic breathing. So as you exhale, really activating those abdominal muscles, those core muscles to help exhale and press that breath out. Again, you can make those sounds of shh or grr to help engage those muscles. And then when the body feels ready to inhale, inhaling fully. Exhaling, we'll repeat the same thing. Let all that breath out. Use those abdominal muscles. Hug that breath out. And if you want, you can pause at the end of that exhale. Again, until the body feels ready to inhale. Let that breath flow in. Good. We'll do that about 5 more rounds. Exhaling and inhaling at your own pace. Using that diaphragmatic breath if you choose. Wonderful. As you complete that next exhale, just come back to regular breath. And we'll start with some gentle movement. Inhale, hands can reach out, maybe up if that feels okay for the shoulders. And exhale, sweep them back down. Good. Inhale, lift out and up. Exhale, float down. Good. Again, one more time. Inhale up. Exhale, float down. Good. Let's take our body into some opening for neck and shoulder. So chin comes down to the chest, and we're going to take that right ear over to the right shoulder, but we're going to pause here for maybe a little bit longer than we tend to. Sometimes it's usually around 5 breaths. But let's see if we can stay here for a minute or so. Really letting that head be heavy, letting that left shoulder and right shoulder soften. The advantage of pausing in some of these shapes just allows the muscles to move a little deeper into these stretches. As always, if you ever feel like it's uncomfortable or your body's just ready to come out of this stretch, please do. This is all for you. Nice job. A few more breaths here. Good. Head slowly comes back to center. Take a pause, maybe even just notice each side of the body. And when you're ready, left ear is going to go to left shoulder, and we're going to do the same thing here. Find your place to stretch and then pause. Shoulders soften, jaw softens, muscles in the face relax. Notice your breath. You can always move back into that diaphragmatic breathing if that felt good. Actively exhaling and maybe pausing that breath out. A few more breaths here. Very nice. Slowly bring the head back to center and lift back up. Good. Hands come onto the legs, and we'll just move through a few cat and cow. So lift the chest up, round the spine. Good. Let's do that a few more times. Lift up and open. Exhale, round. Good. Again, lift up and open. And exhale, round. One more time. Up and open. Exhale, round. Good. Bring it back to center. We'll find our way into a twist. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, twist to the right. And find your variation of twisting. So maybe because we're holding these a little bit longer, go 75%. So we don't have to go deep, deep, deep into that stretch unless you really desire to do that. But find a place where you can pause and breathe and find some stillness. Good. When that mind wanders, come back to the body and see what you can soften. Can shoulders relax a little bit? Can jaw relax a little bit? Can we find a little more length in the spine? A few more breaths this side. And as those muscles unwind, if you want to move a little deeper, you can. Again, this is up to you. Good. One more breath here. We'll gently unwind. Again, take a moment to pause. When you feel ready, if you want, hands can rise. And we'll twist to the other side. This side might need something a little different. Again, maybe you choose to go into that full twist. Maybe you come about 75%. Keep that breath going. A few more breaths on this side. Again, if you choose to move a little bit deeper, you can. Remembering that structure, long spine. soft body, soft shoulders. Very nice. Slowly start to unwind. Go take a moment here. And let's float those hands up again. Exhale. Good. Again, if it feels okay, maybe you just take your hands here. If you want, you can reach them up. Exhale, float them down. Nice job. Let's do it one more time. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, float down. Good. If you're seated in this cross-legged position, let's start to unwind the legs. Everybody will take our legs out in front. Hands can rest behind. And we'll just kind of lean back a little bit. If you're sitting on something like I am, you can scoot off and come flat onto the mat. If you're on your chair, you can just lean back, hands on the back of the chair, and take those feet out a little wider than hip distance. We're just going to start to rock those knees side to side. Movement can be big or small, whatever the body needs today. Just kind of getting a little movement into those legs since we've been still for a bit. Good. Nice. So we'll come back to center. And our next shape we're going to make is head to knee pose. So I'm just going to turn a little bit easier to see me. I'm going to start with my right knee bent, left leg long. Since we're holding these shapes a little bit longer, feel free to add as much support as you would like. So if you want, maybe you take a block underneath that outer right knee, outer hip for some extra support for hip, knee, ankle. And we're going to eventually fold forward. So I'm actually going to use my blocks here to kind of rest my head on. And I'll take my blanket, one of my extra blankets, to put underneath my thigh. So the nice thing about blocks is you can really stack them up as high as you want, and then they're adjustable as you go. You can do the same thing with pillows. If you have a coffee table or a chair you can lean on, and eventually kind of push the chair farther and farther forward. Find what works for you. So right knee is bent, left leg is long. Lift up nice and tall. You can lift the fingertips if you want. We'll start to tilt the pelvis forward, so it's in the tilting. It's not in the rounding. We want to tilt the pelvis. The pelvis is the boss. Fingertips can come down towards the floor. If you have something in front of you where you can set your head on, great. Start to find your shape. Good. Adjust as you need to. We'll be here a couple minutes. So as you settle in, you can adjust your support. Notice what you can soften. About one more breath here. Very nice. Using the hands to press the body back up. Slowly take your time. We'll eventually come back and do the other side, but before we do that, let's bend both knees up. Round the spine here, hug the knees. And again, we'll just take a little rock. So hands can come behind, rock the knees side to side. Good. Nice. Come back again to center, and we'll do the other side. So take take right leg long, left knee is going to bend. Both sides are different. So this side might need more support, less support. Be a good listener to the body, find your way. And when you're ready, start to fold forward. Again, we'll be here for about 2 minutes. But at any time that your body feels ready to move, feel free to move. As you settle in here, see what you can soften. Nice. Using those hands, pressing into the mat, slowly coming back up. Take your time. Wonderful. We'll start to shift a little bit. So you can either come to hands and knees, or if that doesn't work for you, you can come onto your back and hug the knees into the chest. If hands and knees work for you, find your way there. And either you're in that position with the back down, knees bent, hug the knees in if you choose, or maybe find your child's pose. And just feel free to rest in this shape for as many breaths as you choose. Settling and resting here. Very good. We'll come back into that tabletop shape. Adding those blocks in if you'd like, or take the right foot, bring it in between the hands, and start to rock front and back. If for any reason being on that left knee doesn't feel great, you can come to stand and do the same thing. So just tuck the back toes and lift the knee. So you get to choose wherever you want to be. Again, we're just getting a little bit of flow here, a little bit of movement. Good. You can even add the arms, so you can lift the hands up, float them back down, press back, come forward, lift hands up, come down, press back. Same thing with that knee down, reach up, hands down, take it back. Good. One more breath this side. Wonderful. Take that right foot back. We're going to do the same on the left. So take that left foot forward. Rock it forward and back. Same variations, knee up or down. You get to choose. If that knee doesn't feel great on the mat, tuck the toes, lift the knee. Good. Get that forward backward motion. And once you feel stable here and this feels like a good rhythm, you can add those arms, lift up, hands come down, hips go back. Knee comes forward, hands lift, hands down, hips go back. Good. If you're on the knee, same thing, knee forward, hands up, hands down, hips back. Good. Couple more your own pace on this left side. Nice work. Let's do one more. Good. Take that left foot back to meet the right. And we'll come into two options. So you can come back into your child's pose, add support as you'd like. We'll stay there for 2 minutes. Or if you want to add a little more strengthening into your practice today, we're going to try to hold downward facing dog for 2 minutes. So whatever your option is, find your way there. And as always, if you start with downward dog and you feel like, okay, this 2 minutes is really, really long, then find your way to child's pose. Find your way to a rest. Good. Wherever you are, finding length in the spine. If you're in downward facing dog, really try to press through the hands. Lots of support around shoulders. We're about halfway there. You got it. 5 more breaths. Good. We'll all come to meet in that tabletop shape. Wonderful job. Especially if you are in your downward facing dog. Take some time to circle those wrists, wiggle the fingers. Maybe we add in some cat and cow lifts. And you can do those from fists here, especially if you want to give your wrists a little break. Just take your hands into a fist. Imagine like you're punching down to the mat. Give those wrists a little break. Good. Our next shape is going to be pigeon, so I'm going to show you a couple ways to do that. If you want to go into that more kind of traditional shape that maybe you see more often, take that knee. Let's start with the right side. Right knee comes forward, left leg goes back. We can take some support underneath that outer right hip. Blanket, pillow, whatever you've got handy. And then eventually we'll start to come forward. Maybe forearms come down to blanket, pillow, whatever. If the forehead doesn't easily meet the mat or the hands, take a block or a pillow or whatever you've got handy to let the forehead rest on the block. If coming into this shape does not feel good for you, especially for your knees, you're going to come onto your back. We're going to take right ankle to left thigh in that kind of figure 4 shape. Legs can stay here, or you can take that right hand in between the legs and just hug the legs in. Good. We'll stay here for about a minute. In whatever variation you want to be in. And remember, it's what the body wants to be in. It's not where the ego wants to be. Might be different. Soften and breathe wherever you are. Nice. Bring the hands to the mat. Slowly release wherever you are, whether you're on your back or you're in that prone position, and we'll start to switch. If you want to take a pause and add a little movement, if you're on your back, maybe knees rock side to side. If you were on your belly, you can come into that tabletop, maybe move those hips a little bit. Good. Then when you're ready, we'll work into that left side. So left knee can come forward if you're on your mat. Again, eventually you'll come down, forearms to something, mat, blanket, whatever, head to something, block, pillow, hands. Good. If you're on the back, same option, different side. So left ankle comes to right thigh. Again, you can stay there or take that left hand in between the legs. Both hands meet behind the right thigh. Good. We've got 1 minute here. Very nice. Again, slowly start to find your way out. We'll all meet on our back. So take your time to find your way there, especially if you are in that kind of more belly down position. And again, let's just take the knees into the chest. If you're not already doing that, give yourself that little bit of a rock. Good. Feet are going to come back to the mat, knees bent. And again, I'm going to give you two different options. You can come into an active bridge pose, so meaning hands are on the mat, hips are lifted, legs are engaged. Or if you want, you can come into supported bridge pose. So I'm going to use my block here, but you can use a pillow, a few blankets, a few towels, whatever you've got. You'll take that block underneath the sacrum. So that's underneath that kind of flat part of the low back, behind, like lower than the waist, but a little bit above the tailbone. Okay, So you find your choice either with something supported, or if you want to come into that active shape, press the heels down, lift the hips. Hands might hold on to the edge of the mat. You can also clasp the hands underneath. Whatever your preference is, find your way there, and we've got 1 minute. Very good. Slowly release. Bring the back all the way down to the mat if it isn't already there. And we'll wrap up this practice with a little bit of shaking. So as always, shaking is awesome, awesome, awesome to relieve tension. It's great to balance the nervous system. And it's a really good way to prepare for sleep. So if you tend to struggle with issues in your legs or just kind of feeling not quite relaxed when you go to bed, this is a good way to just kind of calm the body down. We'll do 1 minute of each, and then we'll rest for a few breaths. So when you're ready, take that right foot up towards the ceiling, and we're just going to shake it. Shake it for 1 minute, and that's it. Move it around if you want. Rest of the body feels relaxed, not really doing much work here. Shake, shake, shake. That foot can be floppy, or you can flex the foot. Sometimes that kind of changes the shake a little bit. So just notice what feels good. Great way to release low back and hips here. Nice, another couple breaths. And we'll take that right leg down. Take a moment and pause. And when you're ready, left leg lifts. And give it a good shake. We got about a minute here. Again, same options. Move it around. You can take it out wide. You can lower it down. You can cross it a little bit over the body. Maybe foot stays floppy. Maybe flex the foot. That's it. A few more breaths. Nice, and release. Good. Again, take that pause. Legs can stay bent, or if you want, straighten the legs out onto the mat or wherever you are. We'll take the fingertips towards the ceiling, palms face each other, and we'll shake that jar. You can keep the hands here about shoulder width, or you can spread them wide. You can bring them even closer together. Good. As you can hear, maybe that shake moves to neck, face. Keep it going. You're doing great. Couple more breaths. And then just let those arms rest. Settle in here for a few more rounds of breath. hands can come to heart center if you choose. Repeating these words out loud or in your mind. I am enough. I am deserving of love, compassion, and kindness. Thank you so much for practicing with me today.